Hi, I'm Bob Wilson with Cedar Mountain Perennials, and today we're going to take a look at our potting mixes that we're using with the native plants. One thing that's particularly important with the native plants is that the soil has very good drainage. A lot of our plants are very drought tolerant and they don't like wet, soggy soil, so we're going to be putting a soil mix together that drains very well and doesn't hold a tremendous amount of water. We're going to start with our potting mix here. We're using a commercial mix, the Pro Mix, and first of all it's a HP, which is high porosity, and so that's their best drained mix. And the other thing I wanted to point out, it also contains mycorrhizae, which, if you're familiar with those are soil-dwelling fungi that form associations with the roots of plants, especially many native plants, and they help them take up water, take up nutrients, and provide for the overall health of the plant. So that's a very good thing to have in there. This is a full bale. We're going to mix here in the wheelbarrow. This is just a quarter bale. That's about all I can fit. The bales we get are compressed bales, so the first thing we need to do is to break up this material. You can see it's pretty dense, but it breaks up fairly easily. You'll also notice that the soil is fairly dry because it's actually soil we purchased last year and it's been sitting around for a while. So it's gotten fairly dry, and we'll be adding some water to it as we mix it up as well. Okay, that's starting to look a little better. So we'll go through here and see if we can't get find all the last big lumps in here and get them broken up. And it is a high porosity mix. It has a fair amount of perlite, which are the white particles you see in here. It also has a coarser grade of peat moss, which also helps with the drainage. Okay, well that looks like it's good enough to start. So even though this is a high porosity mix, we're going to add more material to it to even further improve the drainage. The first thing I'm going to add is perlite. I'll scoop out some here so you can see it. This is perlite. You can see it's a granular material. It's a volcanic rock that's been heated and puffed up, kind of like puffed rice, so it's actually very light in weight. And it has a lot of little pores in the material itself, plus it helps keep the potting mix open overall, so it adds a lot to the drainage. Now if you are going to be handling perlite like this, one thing that's very important is to make sure that the perlite is moist. When it gets dry, it gets very dusty. It's a dust that's kind of abrasive and you don't want to breathe it. But this has been thoroughly wet, and when I dump it in, it doesn't throw up a cloud of dust. If you see much dust, you want to stay away from breathing that. So we're going to put, in a quarter bale there, we're going to put 5 scoops of perlite. Mix that in a little bit. And we'll mix this some more here in a little bit. But this is fairly dry, as I said, so we're going to add some water to it. Again, I don't want to make this a soggy wet mix, but with the water, but enough just to dampen it so that it's not such a shock to the new roots when we stick them in there. It may look like a lot of water right now, but it doesn't go in very far, and I'll mix it around, and you see most of the soil underneath is still fairly dry. All the way down to the bottom and get everything thoroughly mixed. Just a little more water here, and that'll be about right. Have just a little bit of moisture in there, not a whole lot. And then the last thing I want to add is some fertilizer. These potting soils typically have a starter charge of fertilizer in them. It's a very soluble material that lasts about 2 weeks, and what the plants don't use usually washes out after that. So we also add this fertilizer. This is a pelleted, slow release, 3 to 4 month release period. Fertilizer. It's got an analysis of 19% nitrogen, 6% phosphorus, and 10% potassium on it. It also contains a variety of micronutrients as well. So we're going to mix that in, putting a half cup in here. And there we have it. Well, that's how we mix up our potting soils here at Cedar Mountain Perennials. I want to thank you for joining us. I'm Bob Wilson, and hopefully we'll see you the next time around.